Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Once Upon a Game, a role-playing game variety show where we play one-shot prepless role-playing games. Today, we are playing Shipwreckers, a game about mystery and desperation on the Cornish coast. Now, if I recall correctly, where we were just about at is Cass
I was
Warren,
making off with the loot.
Yeah, exactly. Cass Warren had soared away into the side of this half-sunken ship. And gone into the hold along with a bit of water. And right at about that time, above, the other two members of the crew had convinced the captain to take all of the ship's crew down there. So, Sean, let's cut back to the minute of privacy you got. Inside the hold of the ship.
Yes.
It is dark. You can see very little because
it
is nighttime. And you are inside a ship.
Okay.
But I think in the dull gleam, I think the water in here is up to maybe mid-shin, but
sure.
It's now rising, not super fast, but it is rising because you've let a bunch of ocean water now in. And I think you can dimly see, right, there's sleeping quarters, there's a divider and then a door, and you're not sure what's past that. But what you do see is on the one side of the ship, lashed really securely into place, are a pair of cannons.
Okay.
And I think on the wall next to them, in a net made of very, very thick, strong rope, is a cluster of maybe a dozen cannonballs. Just because I know you all have revolutionary aspirations. I just thought I'd throw you a bone, You got to get started something.
Guns, Tommy.
We shoot the ship with its own gun.
Yeah. This is actually the opening to the 1780s remake of Peaky Blinders. Then they can send a Northern Irish inspector down. Yeah.
Oh, get the guns.
We will go through your city.
Gosh. Well, this is amazing, but I can't lift a cannon. I didn't make that deal with the fairies.
I mean, look, I would say it's not too late. It is too late. There's no fairies around.
Yeah, no, that's good to know, though. Is there anything otherwise valuable down here?
Valuable down here?
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Let me have a think.
In a shiny sense.
Just roll up the random loot table.
Yeah.
I mean, I already did. I did that at the beginning of the magic. You guys see the little table down in the fourth column here? There's nothing valuable in that sense. But I think there's some bundles of sailcloth all tied up and strapped to the wall.
Ooh, yeah,
and some bundles of high quality rope and timber, right? There's ship supplies, the kind that are not without value, right? You could repair your house pretty well with those.
Yeah.
And I think you can see. Well, actually, no. I tell you what, not so fast. I think at this point, let's roll, Sean. At this point, let's maybe do a roll here, because I think there's actually no. I don't think anything is trying to stop you. I think you can see there is a single barrel still of gunpowder.
Okay.
All the rest of them made it up on deck.
Are those barrels waterproof?
It's not big. It's a little cask.
Oh, okay.
I would surely hope so.
Okay.
They're probably dipped in tar.
I don't know much about barrels.
Right, yeah. I'm sure they're sealed with wax or something. Okay. Yes, in my mind, all the ones that weren't already open are certainly relatively waterproof. I wouldn't throw them in the water if I were you, but otherwise.
Okay.
Here's the other thing, though. I think as you you advance a little bit further in, you see this barrel. I think at this point, your eyes are beginning to adjust to the light down here. You feel your foot nudge against something, kind of wet and a bit squishy. And you look down, and there is half the body of a person.
Ugh.
Just lying in the bobbing slightly in time with the rhythm of the waves. And I think you look kind of around, and you start to see over there in the corner is another guy who just the entire his belly has just been ripped open.
Sure.
And you realize that, like, yeah, the sailors who were down here in the belly of the ship when it hit the rocks, They did not have a good time.
Does he have a saber or something on him?
Yes, he well, so these guys are both sailors, I think.
Sure.
If you want to look for a weapon, I think at that point I'm going to say not so fast.
Okay, then here we are.
What do you want?
I want. Actually, it's kind of cramped down here, probably, right? I'm looking for like a good knife, I guess.
Well, like no, I think like you've like this is only the two bodies that immediately you can find, right? Like it's a big hold. I think like it sounds like you want to like find the body of a soldier as opposed to a sailor and like get whatever weapons he had on him.
Yeah, that would be optimal.
Yeah, and I think the risk is that the captain and his men come down like in the middle of you doing that rather than like after you've done that and stashed them as well as you care to.
Don't get us caught.
Yeah. So
I was being stealthy.
Yeah. So you start with one die. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help you?
I don't believe I do.
I don't think good with your hands is going to help you. No. Do you have the right gear?
No.
I don't know that your sharp sword is going to help you. Actually, well, so no. Let's roll back a step. You don't have a skill or virtue that helps. If a skill or virtue clearly would be necessary, do we feel like this is a task that would require sharp-eyed?
Yes.
To do in this amount of time, because I kind of feel like it is. So you're at 0 die.
Okay, that's good.
You don't have the right gear. You don't have any contacts involved. Your talisman macro record isn't going to help you, so you're rolling at 0 dice. So roll 2d6 and take the lower, please, for me, Sean.
I was hoping it was an automatic fail.
It's a 2.
It's a 2? Yeah, so I think, you managed to find, you find the body of like a military man. I think he's got like brown, deep brown skin. Probably one of like the, from one of the African families that lived down in London at the time.
Sure.
Joined the Royal Navy to better himself or something. And I think you managed to get you get like a saber, you get like a pistol that like miraculously, because I think he was like slumped over like some barrels of food or something with like just this massive like awful head wound and bled out. And so like the pistol isn't damp, like it still would probably fire. I think you find like a proper like fighting knife, not a belt knife, like hidden tucked away like on his shin or something. And and then we see the scene of you turning around with all of your loot in your arms. Ha! And that's right when the captain kind of like walks in there looking a little bit like green around the gills with like a handkerchief up over in front of his mouth. He's like, oh, good Lord. Alfred! And the other, the soldier who was with him kind of like quickly appears at his shoulder. He's like, Alfred, arrest that man! And we cut back to the top of the ship.
Nice.
What's good, fellas?
Well, we can just take this stuff.
Yeah, like your path is totally clear.
We could raid the captain's cabin, see if there's anything really good in there.
Ooh.
Yes, you could. I mean, I will point out to you again, there is a pile of like multiple barrels of gunpowder sitting on the deck right now.
That's pretty good stuff.
So like, weigh your options.
So do you suggest that we check out the captain's quarters?
I think so.
Okay. I think I'm feeling greedy. So right. I think Ruin's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
We can find some papers, something light and stuff in our jackets. These barrels
and like wax seals.
These barrels will weigh us down, but
got
good stuff.
John is taking care of our friend, so we don't have anybody to toss it down to right now anyway. So
right.
I think over on the beach, you can now see, if you like look up for a moment, we now see that like John is now like within shouting range of Karen Talk, and he's like waving a fist at him and like kind of wagging his finger, and Karen Talk looks kind of like, as best as you can tell at this distance, as kind of like raised his hands up and looks kind of like a bit sheepish.
That's definitely worth a laugh.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna check out the captain's cabin?
Yeah, let's go down there. Let's go down there.
Yeah, and I think I'm picturing one of those ships where the cabin is like on deck at one of the bits where it rises at the prow and the whatever the fuck the other one is called, the front bit, the aft. And so you guys go in there. The door isn't locked. And I think you find, like, he's not living like a shitty life, but he's not like, lording it over everyone, right? There's nothing like super valuable. You don't see any like jewelry or any like, I don't know, like really fine tobacco, really fine alcohol. What you do find is something that he's very proud of. That I think, oh God, I'm going to make this sad. I think you find on his desk a scribbled note. It is, the penmanship is impeccable, despite the fact that it's hastily scribbled. It's, and I think you can tell that it's hastily scribbled because there's like spatters of ink everywhere, but the handwriting's still really nice. It's probably like no more than like 2 lines long, and it's just like my dearest Elizabeth and Josephine, like, I am sorry, like God will reunite us or something. Like, when he was going down, he like wrote this letter just in case he made it out. And it's signed with his full name, which is like, God, he'd be like Marquis, what's a really like good wanky British name? Like Bartholomew Ashford. And his signet ring, like, he put his like wax seal on the bottom of it, and like his signet ring is like still there in the wax.
Oh, that's valuable.
Yeah.
Which, like, that has some value, and like, if you could ransom this guy, there is money to be had. Someone will pay for his return if that is a route you want to take.
I was hoping he was going to get killed, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point, we need to cut back down to under the ship, because how things go down there will determine whether or not you are interrupted before you can make it off the ship with your gunpowder. Sean, what's good?
Oh my God, what's happening immediately? Like, so he's arrest that man.
Yeah, he's like, arrest that man. And Alfred, this like young man of like 30 or so, who's like kind of like a bit built a bit like you, kind of like tall and a bit beanpole-y, not that strong. Puts his hand on his saber and kind of steps in front of the captain, and behind them you can see a pair of like burly. One of the burly sailors is like backing up the captain, and the remainder of them are like starting to cut the cannon loose and get it ready to take up on deck. And Alfred is like, sir, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to have to hurt you. But if you do not put down those weapons, which are, sir, the rightful property of the British Royal Navy, if you do not put them down this instant, I will have to use force. And he's got his hand on the hilt, and he's not quite within like draw and cut range. He's within like draw and now we duel range, if that makes sense as a distinction.
Sure.
So you'd have, if you wanted to like surprise him, you would have space to do a thing. He wouldn't just immediately like cut you in half and spill your blood everywhere.
Oh, what's the right move here? I need to get out of this situation. What's the water? Like, where am I on the ship in relation to the breach I've made? I
feel like you are in a different section of the ship. I feel like
that's fair.
I feel like you've like gone through one of the doors into like another segment of the hold. I think the water in here is higher than you would expect.
Okay.
Like, obviously, right, like, there's no actual doors. So that, like, all of the water level in here is fairly equalized. But, like, the water in the ship, you now realize, is filling up faster than you would expect with just that one hole. And I think you can faintly see, like, bubbles rising over in the corner, in the back of this, because I think you're at the aft of the ship. Like, way at the back pointy end of the, like, part of the hold you're in, you can see, like, a bubbly patch of water. Like, some kind of movement of water is happening.
Okay. What I would like out of this situation, and I don't know to
be fair, because from memory, this was included in your role, you do also have the gunpowder with you.
Yes. Okay.
You've got the gunpowder and your pile of weapons. So, like, make what you want of that.
But like, I can't make the gunpowder explode, can I?
Because you didn't pick a flint and tinder, no.
No, yeah.
Well, unless, I mean, the gun produces a spark, right, when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, but would that ignite an entire keg of gunpowder? Okay, yeah.
You would also be in a shitload of danger.
Yeah,
but
that
like,
would.
yeah, it would ignite a thing of gunpowder.
I want to make it out of this situation alive, preferably rather than dead.
Okay. Look, Sean, even on 1d6, you got a 50-50% chance. I'm just saying.
You're right, aren't you?
No, it's up to you. It's up to you.
What I would like to do is I want to basically lull him into a false sense of security and take him hostage.
Yeah, right. So like you like put the gunpowder down.
Yeah, and I want to keep the knife. Like I want to keep the knife.
Yeah, right. Okay, not so fast.
Okay.
You're trying it on. You're trying it on, Sean. All right. So if you succeed, you want to take this guy hostage?
Yes.
Do you want to disarm him, or do you just want to have like a knife to his throat so that he can't do anything without like getting his jugular ripped open?
Because he has a saber, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I would prefer to disarm him when this happens.
Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. If you fail, God. Like if you fail, he cuts you real bad. Like
sure.
He cuts you real bad, and you have to like retreat back into like away from the weapons into that like back bit of the ship where there's just the bubbly water.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I mean, given the situation, it sounds fair.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I don't want to do any GM bullshit.
No. Yeah.
So you start with one die.
I mean, I'm not in a good spot, and I'm doing some bullshit. So
your life isn't directly at stake.
Okay.
So you don't get that. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help?
Well liked. I want to like talk him into getting closer to me.
And also like good with your hands, right? I reckon both of those are definitely relevant.
Yeah.
Do you have the right gear?
I have a knife. I have a nice knife.
You fictionally positioned yourself, right? You've got a bunch of weapons. Yes, 100. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
No contacts are involved. Your knack record isn't going to help you, but there's nothing ghostly about. So you got 3d6.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what this looks like, I think. Let's roll and see what it.
Let's look and figure out what the end of it's going to look like.
So what? 3d6.
3d6.
All right. There's a 6 and a 4.
Hoi, that was a close run thing. Yep.
All right. So I think like I'm talking to him like, look, it's like I was just trying to see if there were any survivors. I didn't mean nothing by it. I didn't realize you were all still alive up there. I'll be happy to come along with you. Yeah,
and I'm picturing like as you speak, you're like handing him things so that his arms are getting increasingly. So you like hand him the saber and he takes it with his free hand. And then you take him the gun and he takes that also. Then you hand him the barrel and he's kind of got his arms full so he can't actually pull a sword.
And then at some point, I'm like, there's a good lad. And I'm like, you know what? You remind me of my son-in-law. And at that point, like I spin him around and grab him and put the knife to his throat.
You spin around, your free hand like slaps the barrel and it knocks like everything, including his own sword, like out of his grip. And then you've got him like with the sharp side of the knife like against the inside of his jugular. He's just like, oh god, and the captain's like, oh god. What do you what happens next, Sean? Right? Like
I look at them
hostage. What happens now?
I didn't come here to kill anyone else tonight. I just want to get out of here. Or to kill anyone tonight. I don't say
I'm like, wait, what?
I didn't murder anyone.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. No. I was like,
the captain's like, well, I mean, you don't have to murder anyone. Please release my subordinate, and I'm sure we can negotiate like gentlemen.
Oh, afraid that ain't gonna work. You let me and him out of here, and I'll let him go.
Okay, that That sounds and you can see he's like, oh, he's not sure. No, he's not sure. I think you have to roll again.
Okay, I'm also gonna be like, and look, the water's rising in here.
Yeah,
and
right.
None of us should be down here much longer.
Yeah, that's a really nice like moment. Yeah, he's like hesitating, and you offer him that, and he's like, oh god, like my own personal noble privileged safety is on the. Oh god, I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah,
I am not prepared for this sort of anarchy. Cool. So you start with so success looks like you get out of the ship and then you let the guy go. And they don't follow you? Like what?
They don't shoot me at least. Like I can start making my way away.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
What does failure look like?
Like that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Here it is. Here is what failure looks like. Sean, do you trust me?
Yes.
Because I feel like this would be better as a plot twist. Will you trust me to stick to what I have in my head?
Sure.
I'm technically cheating at my own game, but like I'm allowed to do that. I wrote it.
This is some GM bullshit right here.
I know, it's some GM bullshit right here. All right, so Sean, you start with 1 die. Your life or sanity is not on the line. See? Reassuring.
Okay.
Do you have a skill or virtue that would help? I think well-liked is helpful here.
I'm being reasonable. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have the right gear? Yeah, you've got a sharp knife.
About hostage.
Yeah, hostage is the right gear for this situation. No contacts involved. Nothing spooky is happening. So 3d6 again.
Okay. Are we just not? Is this failure happening after I make the roll? If I fail, is that what I'm trusting you on?
I'm just going to be like plot twist. Here's the failure because I think it'd be fun.
Okay,
fun
that's
twist.
fine. That's fine.
Which one of you had the silver tongue?
That was
552.
Yeah, so I think you're like backing out of the ship and you step out first.
Sure.
Right, and you like plant your feet firmly because you know what to expect. You pull him out and you feel him lose his footing for a moment in the current. And for a moment he's like stumbling and his neck goes like awfully close to your knife. But you catch it and you manage to like avert the knife. And you don't accidentally like
you
slit
monster.
his throat.
You
I know,
monster.
I know, Sean. I know.
I love
and
it. I love it.
Yeah, and you like pull, and I think he knows it, right? Like he's aware of this. And so you like pull the knife away and like shove him inside, and we get like a momentary like wordless shot of just like storm noise and like, you know, lightning flashes over him, we hear thunder, and just like the two of you like lock eyes and him like thankful.
Yeah.
And then you turn and start like wading off towards shore.
Sure.
And then we cut back up to, I don't think the captain's office, but like on deck, because the two of you have had time to like get back. Like they haven't come up and caught you red-handed.
Right.
And so the two of you are like on deck. I think you can hear down below some kind of noise and commotion is happening that is distracting them. What do the two of you want to do?
Well, it's time to get this gunpowder, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Well, do you want to be in the sea or should I be in the sea?
I'll go down.
All right.
I mean, eventually both of you are going to have to go down.
Right.
Where am I in relation to all
Okay,
this?
that's how you toss barrels into the water.
Someone's got to drop the barrels.
The tosser and the catcher. I see. I understand.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you, Ruin. I don't think there's a roll. Yeah, you scramble down the side of the ship. You're down there in the water now. What exactly does this maneuver look like?
Well, the water's deep enough that if you tossed like a sealed barrel into the water, it would like float, right? Or is it super heavy?
I don't know if the barrels are that well sealed.
Well, earlier I narrated that I had tied up whatever the loot was.
Sure.
So assumedly I could just like lower the barrels down. We have some kind of knot rope.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a plan that could work.
Like all the barrels are tied together.
I am going to say not so fast because that is not an insignificant weight of gunpowder.
Right.
No.
And like the ship of the deck, the deck is like slippery.
Right.
So I think this is we have our call back to the belaying scene earlier in the episode, and we'll see how this goes. So
well, now you're bringing the weather in, so weatherproof will work.
That is very true. Yeah, absolutely. So I think if you win, you want the barrels to get down there safely?
Yeah. And they're all
Like-
tied together, so they won't
Yeah,
be
I
floating away.
Tyler, like, feel free to call bullshit if you think I'm being unreasonable here, but like, one, we're in the last third of the game. Two, these barrels are not like it's a fair weight. I think if it falls on you, it's gonna like break your neck or something.
Wow. I mean, if it falls directly on you.
Yeah, right. Like if it just like lands on you, I think you're just gonna die. Which is why I say, like, if you would like to negotiate for like an alternative, I'm happy to like do that negotiation.
Or like there's a jump out of the way roll to be made where that.
I mean, it's safer than using
how does that
portals.
sound? Yeah, like it's
sure.
if,
Okay.
Like a
if you fail,
snowball
it's falling right at you, and if you do not jump out of the way, something really bad is going to
Okay,
happen.
sure, yeah, sure.
Cool. We feel better about that. All right, I'm
Yeah.
glad. So, gold.
Save or die.
Yeah, 1D to start with.
Sure.
You are weatherproof, so that's +1.
Waterproof. Yep.
You got sturdy shoes.
I do.
Ooh.
It's +1. No contacts
No
involved.
contacts. I mean,
I
I'm not going
don't-
to lose grip.
Yeah,
With my
no, that's
glove.
legit. All right, so you got 4d6.
Yeah. Let's watch me fail this, guys.
I know, right?
Okay.
You're all
okay.
good. Yeah, you just you like dig your sturdy shoes into the boat. You like hook onto like the railing with one hand and like wind the rope around your wrist or something. Yeah, and you lower this like heavy little like parcel of gunpowder down into the water.
Nice.
And I think at this point, like, we cut to like a very like we have quite a dramatic cut. Like, I think we cut right back to like y'all like on the beach again, right? Like all reunited with the gunpowder. Because like I don't think there's nothing's gonna stop you from getting them out of the water now. Like,
I mean, what happens to
dealt
the
with-
crew?
yeah, you dealt with Countertalk. Do we know? Do we care? I don't know that we find out. Like, unless
If you don't find out, that's even better.
Yeah, like I think unless you want to like take some action to like make a thing happen to them.
I mean, I kind of wanted to talk to him and like convince him of his patriotic duty to go help these people and get down there in the hold with them.
I mean, he is down there in the hold with them, right? Like,
Karen Talk, the elderly scavenger.
oh right, Karen Talk. Yeah, I mean, you could go over on the beach. Like, if you want that to be like the scene that we cut in on, we can do that. But John is also in that scene,
right?
The Yorkshire guy.
Yeah, how about you and Kaz Warren as well?
Yeah.
Like, one of you is trying to convince them to go in the hold, and the other one has to stab the other
Stab John.
guy in the back. Yeah, because we can't
Yeah.
have witnesses.
That's true.
I'm down with that. Do you guys feel? Does that feel like an interesting scene for us to like cut in on?
So what's happening here? So where's the rest of the crew? What has happened with this situation?
So the rest of the crew are like in the ship.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I just don't think we know. I think like all of you
that's
like
fine.
fuck off with the gunpowder and like I think we get a montage of shots of you guys like unlash the gunpowder so that you can like carry it over the waterline, or like maybe the two of you carry it together. You get out on the beach. We see Caswarin join you, and then we see Ruin kind of like with a slightly desperate look in his eye, like looking down the beach to where Karen Talk and John are like.
Oh.
In fact, fuck. Let me like. Golden, what exactly did you ask John to do? Like,
I
what
wanted
exactly did
him
you
to-
tell him about Karen Talk?
I told him Karen Talk was probably going to come to cause trouble. Like, he was going to come loot the ship.
Right, okay.
And the consequences
Okay.
for failure was that they knew each other.
Yep, so they don't-
So they don't know each other. And
Yeah. So I think all
Yeah.
all you know is that, like, because again, it's at a distance. You just see two figures very close to one another, having a conversation, having an argument. It's really unclear, like down the other end of the beach.
Yeah.
So like I think let's get the scene of like you all are there. Like the wind has died down a little, so we can like you're not like shouting at each other anymore.
Yeah.
Like what do you do from here, right? Because like you could sell this gunpowder and you can make a bunch of money. But
Sure.
also, like, if you're really wanting to start a counter-revolutionary insurgency against the king, you just fucking keep the gunpowder,
Right.
Yeah.
and the cannonballs, and work on getting yourself a cannon next time. Like, yeah, let's get that scene of discussion, right? Like, what's the plan? What is the plan? Where do we go from here?
It's like they've got cannons down there. It's like I don't think we can get it from them, but with this gunpowder, we can make a difference. What say ye?
Well,
I'm happy with just the gunpowder.
yeah, I don't think we. I mean, we can't get a cannon out.
We can't carry the cannon. But I don't want to let these guys escape either.
Right. And we have
So,
There's
we have
8 of them.
we have a loose end, and I look over at John.
if we can get the cannons out of the ship, we can come back for them.
Right, but we'd have to do it quick before they.
But I feel like
How
that
do you
is what
propose
the
we do that?
captain.
There's 8 of them below deck.
I think that's what the captain is trying to do for us.
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, we get a shot of like Trigareth turns to look, and like over his shoulder, like we like do like a zoom across the waves, and we see, yeah, like they're like all of together, the 8 of them minus the captain who's not helping, are hauling this like enormous, well, not enormous, it's like a ship cannon, right? Like it's actually manageable for them. Yeah, like hauling the cannon out, and like it settles like into the sand, and its weight is such that it doesn't like go anywhere, and they start like pushing it up that slight like dip in the, and they're all like straining and heaving.
Oh, is
And yeah,
they're
like,
actually going to get out of here?
Yeah, probably.
We can't allow them to escape with the cannon.
I think this is the point, Ruin, where something catches your eye. I think that like the shape of this beach is such that there's like the 2 kind of like cliffy, craggy, like headlandy bits that come around and enclose it. That you and Karen Talk respectively have taken, and then the middle bit is kind of a little bit like flatter and more like broken shelves of rock. And like if you have time, it's a totally safe way to get down. It's just that like it is like a time-intensive trip because there are many points of small failure, and if you fuck up, it all goes wrong. I think you can see somewhere up on that like series of shelves of rock, the gleam of like 2 massive burning golden eyes.
Right.
Which could be the solution to a problem.
Yeah. So I go over to John, and
okay, so you head down the beach to go and talk to John.
Yeah.
They're like some way away.
Yeah, he's not with Karen Talk anymore. He's helping everybody else.
No, he is still with Karen Talk. Like the 2 of them are still doing a thing together, whatever he is. Like maybe he's arresting Karen Talk. Honestly, who knows at this point? Like,
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to him, and I'm gonna grab Karen Talk and like pull him aside, and I'm gonna tell John, if he came down here, there might be more on their way. I need you to go up over there and see if you can see anybody else coming, because we don't want trouble.
I think Karen Talk like puts his hands up, and he like tries to like shove you, like get you let go of his shoulder, and he's like, "Sir, I have never been so mistreated. I am a good and honest citizen down here to help Her Majesty. These men are brigands and traitors," and he's trying to remember the word treason, but he can't because this is in that early period where like Cornish people were still being forcibly re-educated into English as their main language. So he's looking for the word treason, but he can't find it. Scurrilous characters. So I demand that you arrest this man immediately. I have heard him speak ill of his man. I have seen him burn a painting of the king, sir. Burn a painting.
Karen Talk. If you truly knew me, you'd know that I'm loyal to the king. Ask anybody in town. And if you are, then you will accompany this man up the hill to make sure no miscreants are coming.
Cool. So not so fast. I think you're going to have to make a roll to convince
Mhm.
John to go up the hill on just your say so.
Right.
But I think you might do okay at this. You never know. Anything's possible. So, start with +1 die.
Okay.
Do you have a skill or a virtue that will help you?
I'm ruthless.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think that's fair. Do you have the right gear? Nah.
There's no real gear to be had, I don't think.
I don't think you can like bribe them.
A
again.
silver tongue.
Oh, actually, no. I mean, we've established that John has a taste for liquor, right? Like,
Right. I mean, like,
I think it would use up the last of your brandy. You only have so much of it.
Sure.
But,
Sure.
like, I think if you
Sure.
want to do that, you could do it.
Well, let's do it. Yeah.
An ill contact is in your way,
Right.
so minus one
minus
die
one.
because Karen Talk is interfering. But then +1 die because you're very good at telling people lies and having
Right.
them believe them. So 3d6.
All right.
But actually, before we do that, because we forgot to talk about stakes.
Yeah. What's
So if
the
you succeed-
failure?
If you
Okay.
succeed, you want them both to go up onto the middle bit of the beach hills
want them
and get
to-
eaten by the dog
At
and
least
beast.
one of them to die by the beast. Yeah.
Yep, cool. God, like if
Maybe they
you
don't have to go
fail-
to get eaten by the beast if there's
Maybe
a
we
failure.
all die.
Maybe the beast appears.
Yeah, like exactly. Like if you fail, the beast is gonna come down here. Like, yeah, the beast comes to them, and now everyone on the beach is in danger.
All right. Cool.
And I think like you specifically are like first on the chopping block because I
Sure.
think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. 3d6.
3d6. Let's see. Let's go. Whew, a close run thing. Yeah. So I think John nods. He's like, I'll go and check there's none up to mischief in you. And he like he grabs him by the scruff of his neck and just like starts like dragging. And Karen Talk is like this old, frail. He looks like a scarecrow. His hair is really like messy and like wild, and he's got like long, wispy white hair and a big, straggly white beard. And he's like tall, and all his limbs are slightly too long, and his clothes don't really fit him properly. And he's just like yelping and complaining. He's just like dragged off along the beach. And I think you see the eyes like blink closed and then like reopen somewhere else, and like for a terrible moment you're like, oh god, it's coming onto, oh god, but then no, it reopens them like somewhere else still up there,
Right.
and you're like, oh okay, it's fine.
Yay.
Yeah, in the meantime, Tregareth and Caswaran, what are you two up to
How's
on
your
the
leg?
beach with the gunpowder? And I think you can see the crew with the cannon have like pushed it over the little hump on the beach and are like slowly making their way towards the sand.
Oh,
They're
that's
like
fine.
maybe like a quarter of the way there.
I'm gonna be bringing the gunpowder to the top.
Yep. So you're just like
Cliff.
ferrying it up to the top of the
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
Are you using
And-
the rope you already set up and climbing, or are you taking the stairs?
Oh, I'm taking the long way.
Yep. Cool. Absolutely.
My plan is to get the gunpowder up the cliff,
Yep.
and when they try and get the cannon up the cliff, that's when I'll strike.
Oh god. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. God. Jesus. Yep.
That's a long night.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, Caswaran, what's good? What's the plan? What are we?
I mean, that's a solid idea. But the question is like, is that what they're going to do? Is that,
Yeah. So like looking at things, right? Like and examining the situation.
I mean, if they don't, then we win either way, because we can just come back for the cannon.
Yeah, like there's a limited range of ways they can take the guns to a place that is not the beach, right?
right?
They can take it up your side of the headland, up Carantok's side of the headland, or up the middle bit. If they take it up the middle bit, I think we all know exactly what is going to happen to them, and it's going to be gruesome and bloody, and none of it is going to be seen on screen. I think the question is which headland they're going to take, and I think both of you know, and I'm willing to give you this. I think you know that the odds are much better that they're going to take Carantok's headland, because like Hollywell is that way, and like like loyalists and like a tavern where they have birthed before, like it is where they know.
Because I mean,
And I think like I think Ruin is already on that side of the beach. So I think it is reasonable, and I'm going to give it to you that like that is the side that you're heading to set up the ambush, if that is what thing you want to do.
Yeah, because
like, I'm gonna like give you the benefit of like your characters are competent, knowledgeable people.
Sure.
That you would have like done that math and like figured it out. Yeah, so and I think on that side, there's only like one way up, and it's like it's somewhere in between the two. It's like this kind of like steep incline, like you have to like lean uphill to like walk it. It's because it's like a bit steep, and then occasionally you have to grab onto like handy tussocks of grass and like pull yourself up. But like you could, with a great deal of effort, get a cannon up it.
Okay.
So I think you guys get the gunpowder up, no worries, between the three of you. And like we cut to the three of you perched at the top, like hiding behind some tussocks. The sun, like we can now, like I think it's false dawn now, like it's several hours later.
Sure.
Like that like false dawn, like gray, but the sun hasn't risen thing is happening. The storm has died away. It's going to be like a lovely clear day, probably until about 10 o'clock, and then there's probably going to be another storm.
Sure.
And I think, you can see, like, finally now, like, they're like halfway up this slope. The 8 of them, like, straining and heaving. The captain is now, like, he's even rolled up his sleeves and is, like, pushing as well, as this cannon, like, painstakingly, inch by glacial inch, advances up the slope.
So here's what I want to do. I want to go down there, offer to help.
Yep.
And when I'm helping, one of the times when I'm supposed to heave up, I'm going to heave down. And the cannon is going to crush everybody.
Jesus. Okay. That is a reasonable... Okay. Yep. Not so fast. I think there's a multitude of ways in which that could go wrong.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So, like, so if you succeed, you want, like, the cannon to fall and crush or incapacitate all of them?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Maybe there's one or two that I can deal with.
Yeah.
There's three of us.
But
I'm not picky.
Fail.
Most of them are dying.
Yeah. So here's the question, right? Because I can see two ways this goes if you fail. One of them is that actually no. Here we go. Here it is. I'll give it to you. Right. It's your choice between the two following scenarios as to the failure condition. One, it works, but you also go down the hill and get landed on, and you don't die, but like you get fucked up pretty badly. Or it works, like everything works exactly as you described, but when the cannon lands, it's damaged.
Oh.
One of those two is the failure state, and I'm gonna let you choose which one.
I like being more injured. I really hate these guys.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's the thing that's gonna actually tell you what, Golden. Do you want? I'm gonna offer you like the weird, twisted this game's version of a devil's bargain. Because like if your life is directly on the line, you get the +1 die, right? Like,
what?
Do you want that? Do you want that die? Do you want that +1 die?
Play my life on the line.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So you'll die or like be mortally wounded, right? Like it doesn't have to happen immediately. Cool. So you start with 1 die for bravery and desperation. You get another one because your life is at stake. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help?
Being ruthless here.
Yes. Yes. Strong vote. Yes. Do you have the right gear?
I'm not going to lose my footing with these shoes.
Yeah, I'll allow that. I think that's totally valid. Yep. You have 4. There's no bad contact. Like none of your contacts are involved.
No.
Does your talisman help you here?
Sure. I mean, I have one hand on the cliff and the other on the.
Yeah, like at the last moment, you like hook yourself onto the cliff. It's legit. Yeah. All right, you've done it, Golden. You've reached the mythical. You get to roll 5 die, which like never happens.
I'm gonna roll 5 ones.
You mean anything's possible?
Oh shit!
Oh,
one. Close. So close. So I think what we see is like like you go down there and the other two are watching like because did you fill them in on this plan?
No. Well, no. I mean, my character does not talk a lot. He's
That
like,
is- that
we
is
should
legit-
do
that
this
is legit.
thing, or I'm going to do this thing.
So for
That
a
is-
moment,
I
it
hate-
looks like you're going to die to us.
Yeah.
Well, I think to everyone else, it looks like he's just like decided to help the hated enemy,
Sure.
right? He goes down there, yeah, you're like pushing, and then they get to like this really precarious bit, and like everyone gets behind and starts trying to push it up over like a little like nudge in the rock, and then yeah, you just like kick one of the wheels really hard, and it goes
Yeah.
spinning down, but your leg is knocked by the front wheel, and it looks like you're going to fall for like a horrible moment. Then you like throw your arms up and like hook on with the glove and like
Yeah.
stick to the rock. As the cannon just like rolls down. We hear like one person or two people like immediately just like are thrown back and just like break their necks or like smash the back of their heads open on the rock. Like
Nice.
they don't even go anywhere, right? Like they just die where they are. And like, yeah, the rest of them, like the cannon goes down, someone's like leg like snaps under the weight, it like lands on them, the captain's like rib cage just like collapses. It's awful. It's really messy and horrible, and I don't think we see it, I think we just hear it. As you're like
I hear
clambering
more
down, you like
screams
look
as I-
down, and we're like, what do we, and we get like a reaction shot, like, does the degree of brutality you unleashed, like even through your ruthlessness, like unnerve you even a little? Are you moved even at all? Or is it
No,
just
I
like
have to
totally
finish
just
the
like
job.
stone cold?
That guy only broke his leg. I could get my knife.
I think I throw up.
Yeah, right. For the top, yeah, you just like, ugh, it's disgusting. Yeah, and I think this is about the point where like there's like a beat of silence, and everyone's like, oh, okay. So so it's like this happens. You're looking queasy. There's a beat of silence of like, oh, thank God, like at least it's over, right? Like the badness is over. And that's when we hear the horrified like scream from the shelves of rock that is just like cut off with a horrible, like sickening crunching sound. And that's when Caswaran throws up. It's like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Ruin is standing there on the cliffside. The wind is blowing his hair.
Yeah. And I think
You're also ruthless.
I am. That's why I'm not puking.
And I think Ruin, in your vision, we just see like in the gray light, right? Like you see like a dark shape like slinking away from the bodies. But as it slinks away, you see that it was actually two dark shapes. And so like, yeah, this like bestial cat-like shape like slinks away, and just this like black silhouette of a person is left there standing. And even though we can't see like any detail because they're too far away, like there is the distinct impression that they are looking at you, and there's just like the slightest hint of like a nod motion, and then they just like turn and like fade as the sun rises, and we get the first like rays of sun of morning.
Yeah, Ruin sits down on the cliff edge and goes to take a drink out of his good brandy, but there's nothing left.
It's all gone. There's none left.
Drops, and he just tosses the bottle out into the sand.
And like, I think that's us done, right? Like,
yeah, I think that.
I think probably the gunpowder and everything like gets hidden somewhere down on the beach because you don't have time. Like, you need to find like a night to do that moving, right? Where it'll all be done in secrecy. So like it all gets hidden.
We got up the cliff. That was why it
because the gun,
right?
yeah, but the cannon, right? Like the
cannon
the cannon
itself, yeah, right. No, that's going to be
right. So like that's like tucked into a little cave, and like some like torn like heather branches are like piled in front of it to like conceal it.
Do we take the bodies out to the water, or do we just leave them there all squished?
It's a good question. Suggestions?
I don't like them that much.
Do you feed them to the Bodman Beast?
I mean, he'll probably take care of it.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the thing, folks, right? Like, it will probably, as long as no one discovers them for the next day, it will take care of them. Like, it's kind of retreated a little as day has come. If you all go to deliberately feed them to the Bodman Beast, like, you'll get a new accord, right? With the Bodman Beast. And the terms are like a harvest of bodies for whatever it gives you. I don't know what that is, but like it gives you something cool.
Our lives.
No, for like,
I don't think
tangible.
That's something my character would do. But I would like loot the bodies because they have guns.
Yeah, totally.
Swords.
Yeah, we're gonna get guns and sabers and all sorts of.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
uniforms.
So we see we get this long shot of like you're like halfway down the beach already. and we can like bristling with like everyone's got like 3 sabers and like a bunch of guns tucked away and like knives, and someone's got like I think one of the sailors had like one of those like really brutal like hook things that you use for like helping with like climbing and stuff, but that you can also like put in people's necks, and, like one of those hook things, right?
Yeah.
Which I think definitely like Trigareth is now carrying. And we see we get the shot as the tide like brings the bodies into our frame, and the water is stained with red, and then the tide recedes, and there's just this red stain on the beach, and then the waves come back, and there's like the bodies again, and then they come back, and we just watch this like awful grisly shot as you all like disappear back towards the headland and home.
You know what? I'm not interested in the cord with the Bodman beast, but maybe Joan, the village priest, would
I feel that it's beyond the scope of this, though. Yeah.
I mean, sure. He doesn't have any supernatural powers, so you can't make an accord with him. You make just a normal deal.
Okay.
I think that's the end of today's story. But on that note, Sean, this game is 4 one-shots, but I tried as I designed it to build in all of the tools you would need to keep playing it as a campaign.
Okay.
Except for advancement.
Sure.
You would have to hack your own solution to that, but otherwise you basically just could keep playing the game.
Right.
I can get 6 dice next time.
Maybe, right? Like
that mythical 6th die.
That mythical 6th die. It's like fucking Moby Dick. We're gonna go hunt it. But yeah, thank you all so much for playing. Thank you, chat, for like hanging out and watching us play this game that I wrote.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had a good time. I did. You were all excellently spooky and sad and like savagely, awfully like brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It was a great game.
My only regret is that it was so short.
Yeah. Alas, look, we'll talk to Eric about the special 6-hour edition.
The 6-hour edition of Shipwreckers.
We'll see
Wreckers.
What we can do.
You can always become a streamer yourself, Luke.
That's true. Look, I tried. My laptop is not set up for the production stuff, and neither is our bandwidth, alas.
Well, that's why you hire an expert producer like Eric.
Thank you,
exactly.
Eric.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, for having us. Thank you, everyone who watched. Thank you, players. I think it's time for shout-outs. So yeah, I have been your master of ceremonies. My name is Luke. You can find me on Twitter at Wildwoods Games. You can find games I have designed, including this game, for sale at gamesfromthewildwood.itch.io. If someone could put a link in the chat, that would be awesome. Ghost of Eric, please. And by day, I'm a professional GM for children. By night, I do this stuff and I design games. That has been me. Tyler, tell us about yourself again and where these lovely people can find you.
I don't really have a place where people can find me. I'm on Twitter, Comrade Dogleaf. I would like to do more things like this. I'm currently not in any streamed games, but I would like to be because I like playing games and I like watching stream games. So I guess I would like playing in stream games. And yeah, God, I had a great time. This was super like last minute because Eric was just like, somebody play. And so I'm glad that I did because I was really nervous and this was really fun. And I want to thank you for making the game because it is also excellent.
You were great, and the aesthetic was so on point with the candles. I just like, yes.
Sean?
I am Hyena Spots. You can find me on Twitter at Hyena Spots with a Z. You can also find, I have played quite a number of role-playing games, one here on this very channel, but I've been in a few campaigns on Distracted Elf's Twitch channel, which you can find at twitch.tv/distractedelf or youtube.com/distractedelf, where generally we would play with Andrew Gillis and our friend Gear Cavalier. So check that out. You can also, occasionally I do some writing and stuff at hyenaden.com. And then we'll kick it to you, Golden H.
Yeah, I'm Golden H. You can find me on Twitch. You can also find me on Kelsa Delphi's channel. And I had a lot of fun. I murdered all the bad guys, and we profited.
Yes, that is a true statement. Yeah, thank you all. And like folks in the audience, the last thing I would like to say is it doesn't have to be one of the games that I have written, though I would prefer that it was. But like, go out there and try this yourself. Playing role-playing games is not hard. Remember to ask for help because you're all in it together. Being a GM is not a scary thing. I believe in you, Twitch chat. You can do the thing. Go play more games.
All right, everybody.